I am fist.
They were coming on in 5 minutes with indigenous people.
They're probably on now. I'm indigenous people. Okay, I got it.
Joanne, and the next section is just for indigenous people.
Did you hear how mad I was?
That was great. I'm glad you kept talking.
And I recorded it, and then I recorded how pissed I was. I'm sure the indigenous people are like, shit, she's mad now.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. What the heck is your... I'm calming down, way down right now, and I would like to know what your opinion is of what just happened.
Well, they obviously don't want to hear what we have to say. We emailed them on June 23rd and again on July 17th asking to speak, giving a written statement on June 23rd. So they knew we weren't just going to waste their time. We had relevant subjects. And so they didn't put us on the list. They have a list, and they only want certain people to talk. So,
okay, this is what we're going to do this next session. If we get denied, we are going to talk.
Okay.
We are going to talk no matter what.
But I tried to do that in the first one, and all I was asking was for them, we need for each one of these recommendations from each country, we need an email address of somebody at the State Department that we can bring our proposals to. Otherwise, they're just going to say, oh, it's all resolved, we've done everything we can.
No. That's why I said you could listen to the whole goddamn country, but you can't listen to us, and we have a treaty.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they didn't like that very much, but what the hell do I care? Hello?
Well, it's worse for the people that are trying to talk, because they only get 2 minutes, and when you interrupt them, you should only interrupt the State Department people.
Well, I didn't know who was who, but then if I interrupted all of them because they talked about the African people the first time around, they talked about African people the second time around, they never once brought up the Indian people whatsoever at all. And so we have to fight for what we want. And that's uncalled for. That's why I said it's rude. It's uncalled for. We should not have to fight for what we believe in. And every nationality around the world should know that. Well, where's the Indian people? How come they're not talking? They have a treaty. They were talking about treaties. Treaties in Article 6, Clause 2 states that they're supreme, yet we don't even get to talk. That's wrong.
Yeah. But what they're saying is we get this other section is just for us, but we need like a couple of weeks. They need to have a conference, pay to bring us there, put us up in a hotel, and then we sit down every day for 5 days and tell them how to fix the problems they've created.
Here's the deal. We're going to go into this next session and we are going to talk. And whether or not we get heard is whatever, but I am recording it right now and we need to be heard.
Yeah.
Okay? And okay. I'm sorry I'm going to be so blunt on this, but God damn it, treaties are supreme. And they're not saying that. And they know that we know.
Interrupted the State Department people are talking.
Okay, say something. Say Joanne or something and I'll get the cue.
Are you able to look at your email while you're on the phone?
Shit, I'm putting it all over Facebook now. I'm not just looking at it. I'm exposing the hell out of it.
If I send you an email.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll send you an email when we should talk, but probably in the beginning, because the State Department people talk a lot in the beginning.
All right, let's get back on there, see what we can do.
Okay. Here we go.
I'll be outside.
There it is.
Uh-huh.
I'll be outside.
All right, bye. You need to be paying attention to what's going on. You're supposed to be a spokesperson, and you need to know and not be running all over But you go ahead and go do what you want. That's why this is important. Today the United States spoke about treaties and neglected the indigenous people's voice.
I can hear you right outside. I can hear the conversation windows open.
Go ahead, do your thing.
I'm not far. I'm coming back. I can hear you.
Shit, come on.
Welcome to AT&T's teleconference service. Please enter your access code, followed by the pound. There are 30 participants on the call, including you. You are joining your conference as a participant. For a menu of available commands, press *#.
Speak at the appropriate time. Then we will have remarks for anyone in the group that hasn't made an RSVP. If there's time left over, we'd like to allot at least 5 to 10 minutes for U.S. government officials to make responses. But this is mostly a listening session, so we're really interested in hearing from all of the civil society members present to give us input on how to view and respond to the UN Human Rights Council's recommendations. As far as introducing other people on the line, you may have heard that Attorney General Lisa Madigan from Illinois is on the line, along with representatives from the mayor's office in Birmingham, Alabama, and we'll give them a chance to speak at the end as well. So, are there any questions from the members in the room? Okay, great. Well, let's get started. The first, we also have some remarks from the State Department, Amanda Wall.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there were a couple of questions that were posed about this working group during the plenary that I wanted to make sure to address before the working group started, so we don't run out of time. There was a question posed as to why economic, social, and cultural rights were combined with indigenous issues and the environment into a single working group when they were separate working groups in our last GPR cycle. There were 3 reasons for this. The first is that in this cycle, we didn't receive enough recommendations in each of the 3 working groups to justify having 3 separate working groups. We received more in each area last time around. The second is that we noticed that there was almost complete overlap in the agencies that composed the 3 separate working groups during our current cycle, so that we were having 3 separate meetings of the same group of folks. This way we try to streamline the process so that we can have the same people in the same room only once instead of 3 times to discuss the recommendations. And then finally, there were a number of recommendations that had many components that could fit into more than one of the working groups we had previously. For instance, a recommendation that addressed both the environment and economic and social and cultural rights, or both the environment and indigenous issues, etc. We tried to combine the working groups to avoid duplication of efforts among the working groups and to make sure that they could focus on all of the recommendations that pertain to the areas of expertise in the group.
Thank you so much. So we'll first get started with Alicia Guariado from HRE USA. I apologize for the mispronunciation.
Absolutely, but I'm not sure if that's referring to Rosemary. I didn't sign up.
Okay, well, we'll go to the next person. Oh, yeah. That's what we call.
Could I defer to my colleague?
Sure, feel free. Yeah.
So I did speak last time, but this is a different issue. So, established in 2012, HRE USA is a growing network of over 400 educators, students, higher education faculty, members of nonprofit organizations, representatives from national teacher unions and other stakeholders dedicated to promoting a vibrant, effective base for human rights education in the United States. HRE is important because knowledge of human rights standards is fundamental to the principle of accountability within the human rights system. Duty bearers need to understand their responsibilities in light of international human rights commitments, and rights holders need to know what their government representatives are responsible to abide by. There's now a UN Declaration on Human Rights Education and Training, and increasing acceptance. There is a right to human rights education. HRE USA, in cooperation with the U.S. Human Rights Network, completed the first ever stakeholder report on the status of human rights education in schools, submitted to the State Department and also to the Office of UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. This report is being used as a model report for other countries and an effort to encourage national human rights institutions worldwide to work with civil society organizations in developing HRE stakeholder reports. So there are 4 recommendations that we have, and then one comment. In the U.S., there's currently no comprehensive national framework or action plan on human rights education within K-12 education, higher education, or the training of educators and professionals. And there's neither a focal point for human rights education or a national human rights institute with a mandate to provide and ensure quality human rights education. The lack of such a framework or focal point seriously compromises all human rights initiatives which rely upon knowledgeable state and local participation within the U.S. federal system. So we have 4 recommendations that the U.S. government, in cooperation with government and civil society stakeholders, should develop and implement a national plan of action for HRE. The U.S. government should make a public statement in support of human rights education. The U.S. government should appoint a focal point for the coordination of a plan of action. And the U.S. government should inform states, municipalities, state education departments, and school districts of their treaty obligations for human rights treaties that have been ratified and applied applications for those that have been signed.
Thank you so much. Our next commenter is from the Global Justice Center, Akila. Thank you.
So I know we spoke a little bit on this issue in the last one. I just want to add a couple of comments. And so I'm speaking here on recommendation 101, 323, 102, 104, and 103, all on the Health Amendment Report Act. And what I want to add is that this issue was raised during the last UPR in 2010, and the government did not accept the recommendation and just said that it was currently applicable restrictions. In these last 6 years, there's been a concerted advocacy campaign by a coalition of actors, including the Center for Reproductive Rights, to get this administration to act on this issue. The implications of the issue are broader than what people see. We've been doing a lot of work on the implications on women raped in conflict. I was just in Nigeria and came back last week, and there were a third of the girls who were rescued from Boko Haram were pregnant. And it's a part of a concerted campaign of forced impregnation that's happening. And USAID really should make sure that it's being used to completely help these people where they can't. These women should not be denied their options because of U.S. political constraints. And the fact of the matter is, the congressional restrictions actually allow for exceptions for rape, life, and incest. It's the administration's continued imposition of this as a total ban that's the problem. And so that's why we think it's important that 5 countries raised concerns about this, made recommendations. There's been, over the last 5 years, coalitions of actors who've written to the administration, including the recent letter, which I'm happy to share. And so we really ask that the administration take these recommendations seriously this time. In Geneva, what was said on these was that they're consistently reviewed for their implications and that relevant action has been taken. No action has been taken since the last UPR, and it's incredibly important that the U.S. administration use this opportunity to accept the recommendations, issue an executive order. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next comments are from HRE USA, Amy Calsas. Okay. Then we also have the Center for Reproductive Rights, Aram Shveh. I apologize for mispronunciation.
No, actually, you got it right.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you. Okay.
I just would echo the same comments that Akila made on the Helms Amendment, and just to emphasize and to clarify if there's any clarification necessary, that this is not a question before Congress. This is a question before this administration. This administration may, under existing law, support safe abortion services so long as they're not performed as a method of family planning. And as a method of family planning does not include abortions in the cases of life endangerment, rape, and incest. And in addition to the civil society letter that Keela mentioned, there was another one this summer signed by some 80 different civil society groups, including a large number of faith-based groups. There have been letters signed by 24 senators to the White House, by 24 members of Congress, members of the House. And again, this recommendation was not addressed back in 2010 when it was previously raised by Norway, and we asked the administration to take it seriously this go around. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Chuck Watts from the Empathy Project. You see? Okay, we'll pass. USHRN, Eugene DK.
Hi. My comment is again it's more about the process. We appreciate always meeting with the administration at these consultations. And in particular, we appreciated the format for this session. But I have to say again that it is really not acceptable to have a working group that combines economic, social, cultural rights with indigenous rights for a number of reasons. One, it gives the impression that the only issue that concerns indigenous people are economic, social, and cultural rights. And I think we all agree that that's not the case. And vice versa, that the only group that has economic, social, and cultural rights concerns are indigenous peoples, and I think we all agree that that's not the case either. The second is that while I understand that this is about the UPR recommendations that were made during the last session, we have not implemented many of the recommendations that were made during the 2010 UPR after the periodic review. So really, these sessions are about taking seriously our human rights obligations and how we implement them, period. And so it should include both 2010 and 2015. I would hope that the administration reconsider the configuration of these sessions, because I just don't think that it's workable for moving forward.
Thank you. We'll make a note of that. Next we have IHRAAM, Fareed Mohammed. Okay, feel free.
Yes, my name is Carson Brown.
Speak up, please. Can't hear you.
And Friends of the African Union. I just like to bring you a message. You're sitting there having a conversation about and trying to figure out about 55 million African people live in this country. Take a look at that. Okay, I report from the people. I do market research, the other thing, on what's going on in the neighborhood, on the ground right now. People cannot feed their families. People are working, and there's not enough money to pay your bills. So you're broke. You can't feed your kids. People are being forced out on the corner, hunted and stalked like animals. The community is hopeless. There is no hope. We need action. Martin Luther King went through this same process, and people sat around and talked and talked and talked. People are dying. You're looking at it. We're talking about 55 million people who deserve a right to live. And the policies of these human rights violations, which is housing, economics, they're all combined. You can't separate them. Mass incarceration. You can't even go into a store and buy something without fearing for your life. I live it every day. If you don't have to live it, it's not an issue. I am tired of living this way. I'm tired of having all the potential in the world, but I cannot get an opportunity no matter what. It's ridiculous. And it is Mandela said it best. Apartheid and all this stuff that's going on in this country is done by men and women. It was a plan of action. And now it's time to change that plan of action. And you have the ability to do it if you choose to. But, you know, when I walk out here, no matter what city I go in America, every city, every county is the exact same template. You go into an African American community, all you have to do is drive across the street. They don't have an economic nothing going on. Okay? This is ridiculous. To sit here, okay, you know, no one wants to talk about the evils of racism, but they want to see it exist. And it's an insult. And it should be changed, and we should be ready to do action because we are dying out there, and we are starving to death. That's all I have to say. The truth.
Excuse me, U.S. government, I believe the Native American Indian people were the first ones to be killed, murdered, raped, abandoned. Even to this day, the treaties are neglected, and you did have 228 recommendations by the United Nations. Now I believe it's growing to 400 recommendations worldwide. And I would strongly like it if you please listen to what I said. I've been asking for the last 2 hours to be heard. And I'm originally from Wounded Knee, South Dakota. I am a Lakota, and I do hold the 1851 treaty that did make it past Congress all the way to the United Nations, where we are waiting for World Court because of situations like right now where we are unheard. And you are being recorded. I don't know how many times we have to ask you to do something, but you don't do it. That's not even cool, no matter how much education you have. If you can't listen to the grassroots and all you can talk about is how right you are and how educated you are and how much money, you forgot that that money's made off trees off this land, off of our treaty agreements, the land negotiation rights.
Thank you so much for your comments. We have made a note of them, and that would be considered your intervention for this session. We really appreciate the comments that you made today and in the previous session, and we will be following up on them.
Well, I would like it if you gave us some time. I mean, it'd be nice to be heard.
Well, all we have is 2 minutes per person, and we really want to be fair to everyone else in the room.
But you're not being fair to us. We have to jump in and intervene just to be heard.
No, you don't have to jump in and intervene. You've taken the spot that you were supposed to have later. But we thank you so much for your comments, and we're going to lower the volume so everyone else can be heard. The next person is Janet Parker from Medical Whistleblowers Advocacy Network.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Parker. I'm Executive Director of Medical Whistleblower Advocacy Network, and our UCR report was on disability rights. We are recommending that the United States government should enact such legislation as may be necessary to grant the residents of the District of Columbia equal representation in the U.S. Congress, consistent with its obligations under Article 25 of the ICCPR.
Yeah, put them fuckers on hold. Hello?
They basically said they just screwed you.
That's okay because we have it on recording.